I'm going to show you today a little free tutorial on how to make a super simple, easy peasy bow. These are fantastic. They can be used for so many different applications. The reason that I've got a black bow and the reason that we've got all this Halloween activity going on behind us is because this bow is actually part of a tutorial for Betsy here. I've done a sparkly bow for her hair, but I thought it would be quite nice just to show you how to make a very, very simple bow that you can use either on Betsy or just to decorate a present cake or whatever else you might need to go with. So I'm going to put this to one side. Okay, to make our bow, we're going to start with gum paste. I'm using black because I'm making a Halloween bow, but obviously use whatever colour you need. And I'm doing this on a mat with squares. You'll see in a moment because I'm going to use it to help me measure. So I'm going to roll out a strip. Okay. And now I'm going to cut my bow. Let's just trim off these edges. And I want to make my bow 16 centimeters long. This is for this size. Obviously, adjust it accordingly if you want to make a smaller bow or a bigger bow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And that's why I use the Idiot's Guide mat. Didn't do that very neatly. Let's try again. Okay, so I'm 16 across. And I want probably around between 3 and 4. So I'm going to go for 3.5 centimeters across, just because the proportions are quite nice. Okay, so this is going to form the middle bit of my bow. What I want to do before I start folding it is I want to just soften the edges of my bow. Because these sharp edges are not so nice to look at. We want to soften it because obviously we want to make the bow look like fabric. Okay. Now, back on my 16 mark. What I want to do is I just want to vary with the back of my scalpel. 6, 7, 8. I want to find the middle point, which is here and here. And then I want to find the middle again. So I've got 8 and I want to find 4. Okay, just I'm ever so lightly marking it. It's a guide. It's a guide for me for when I fold. Okay, so I'm happy with that. I'm going to moisten my brush with a little bit of water, a little bit of alcohol, a little bit of piping gel, whatever you need. Not too much. And that's in the center. Then I'm going to take some kitchen towel, that's the word I'm looking for, and I'm going to roll it up into a little tube. And actually, the other thing that I like to do is with a little bit of masking tape, is I hold it in place. This is going to help support the billow of that bow, okay? So you need 2 of these. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one edge, I'm going to put in my little self-support here, find my center edge, and fold in. Just going to press that down, okay? Then I'm going to do the same the other side. Now I'm going to use my fingers to smooth this down and join it all together. Now, you can see where we're forming, right? Really, really easy. But obviously a bow is pinched in the middle. So the easiest way to do this is to pick up the bow, take it and pinch, okay? If you want, you can put a little bit of your adhesive in the middle, but to be honest, if you're working with the gum paste and it's quite soft, you probably won't need it. And that will hold the center of your bow. Now you need to leave this to dry. And at this point, you can shape your bow with your fingers if you want, just to create a little bit more movement, a little bit more realism. I like to indent into the sides here and then down, okay? Just to give it a little bit of shape. Then I'm going to take that to one side, I'm going to leave that to dry. So my bow is nice and dry and firm. I need to cover up this middle section. So we need to roll out a piece of corresponding gum paste again. So I'm with my black, to around about a similar width to what you did before. So we did 3.5 centimeters. I want to roll it quite thinly. You don't need to worry too much about how long you do it, because we're going to tuck it around the back, so you can always chop off some excess. For sure, this will probably be too long than what I need. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to soften these edges slightly. And then what I want to do is I want to create a pleat down the middle. So I'm going to do that by folding and then folding back on itself. And what I want to do is I want to cover the middle of my bow with it. I'm just going to put it on the top. Now, for Betsy, we are not adding tails, but for an ordinary bow, if you do want to add tails, it's really simple. Just cut the same width. So we were working with 3.5 centimeters, cut 3.5 centimeters and just angle it slightly. You can either cut them straight or cut a V at the end and then attach the two pieces onto the back. Leave them to dry if you want them to shape or ripple. If you want them to go down a cake, then you don't have to do that, and you can just attach them down the cake and then add the bow on the top. For added oomph, you can add a little bit of sparkle, which is what we will do for Betsy. And I would recommend rubbing a very, very small amount of piping gel over the top and then sprinkling your glitter dust or whatever it is that you're using on top of that, and leave that to dry. And there you go. Really, really easy bow. No maths or calculations or angles or anything. And that should hold you in good stead.